Dear guests, please welcome tonight's keynote speaker, entrepreneur, philanthropist extraordinaire, Mr. Ruben Vardanyan.
Good evening, dear friends. I'm really very thankful to be here today with all of you in a special occasion of the celebration of the 25th anniversary of one of the, I think, most important events that happened in New Armenia. And I think it's very symbolic to be here from representing Armenian person who was born in Armenia, grew up in Armenia, went to Russia, and now staying here with LA and talking about the American University in Armenia. I think it's really something very special for me personally. First of all, I want to congratulate all the people who are here today, the president, the staff, the board members, the representative of the University of California, and I will try to speak slowly, which is not easy for me. And also I have a pressure about timing, how much I can talk. That's why I will try to balance with my willingness to talk very fast and at the same time deliver the key message that I want to do tonight. Before going about the key message, I want to say a few words about myself, despite I'm sure some of you read about my biography. Like I said, I was born in Armenia with the family. With my father was professor, my grandfather was professor, and education was always was key interest for all our families. And this is why I'm so happy to continue this tradition now, maybe being from business side, not being directly involved in education, like teaching, but I continue to believe is one of the best professions in the world is to be a teacher. I was living in the Soviet system, which was very different. I was later went to Russia when the Soviet Union collapsed, and I grew up and become investment banker in New Russia, which was wild capitalism. And I work with international clients, and I learn how to work in a system with the different standards, whereas a lot of things is changing. And I would say it's one of the most important elements of this whole journey that I made with myself. It was understanding what you need to keep your identity, who you are, and learn at the same time how the situation is changing around you. And I want to pay the tribute to the people who, being so brave and so visionary in the beginning of the 90s, realizing of New Armenia, the main challenge, it will be not only electricity and water, but it's the key, the future of Armenia, it will be education. And what Louis Simon and Miran Abavian and Stefan Haramayan, Armender Kirjan, and many others with AGBU, with the Armenian government did it is unbelievable. It's really something which we need to look back and learn again and again how it's important to be bold with your vision. Sometimes looks crazy. Sometimes people will not realize what you're doing today is important for tomorrow. And it's not being scared to do what you feel is right. Today I want to talk about three things, about the challenges and opportunities that we are facing, about importance of education, and about the legacy. And the challenges and opportunities that we are facing is not only specific Armenian challenges, it's a world transformation happening in our lifetime. Not only Soviet Union collapsed, not only China become part of the world, and now Iran is becoming part of the world economy, and only Cuba and North Korea left from the map of the countries who is not a part of the world economy. But technology disruption, social disruption, political disruption, we see what's going in Europe, what's going in the Middle East, what's going in Russia, Ukraine, what's going in US with all this election, which happened a couple of weeks ago. It's showing transformation happening very fast. And these all transformations bring some really significant questions for all of us. What will be our near future? What will be the future of our kids? What kind of system we'll live? And this is the type of things which scare people, and people's reactions sometimes can be quite unpredictable and quite reserved. That's why I say that looking at our history of Armenia, we've been historically under significant pressure, being in a border between civilization of the Christian, Muslim, between the Roman Empire and Persians, between the Turkish and Russian and Persian empires. We've been under pressure to always survive ourselves and try to understand the changes, what's happening around us, and to respond some way. Today's Armenia is also facing some significant challenges, as not only Armenia-like country, but Armenian nation, because during 20th century, not only genocide happened in Ottoman Empire, but afterward the Egyptian revolution, Iranian revolution, Lebanese war, civil, now what's going in Syria. Our main diaspora, where it was been hold our heritage of hundreds of years, unfortunately was pushed out, and now we're living in other countries, in Canada, in US, in Argentina, in Russia. And I think the question, what will be our response for this? How we, like Armenian nation, can continue to keep ourselves is a nation which is looking forward, a nation who is really showing something which was always our best in our history, is being pioneering of many things what we did during the history of civilization, and being example of the nation who been education was #1 priority, whereas people try to show what they can do, something which nobody else is doing. I think it's a very important element, because the driver was been always two elements. It's a pride and fear, and I believe the pride, which we've been proud about what we did, how we did in history, drive us many, many hundreds of years. But the question, what will be today our pride? Is a pride is a successful Armenia? Is a pride is only our own family success? Is a pride is about what is our contribution in other countries? Or is a pride is really how we, like Armenians, can deliver something to the world, not only keeping about our own problems, our own issues about what's happened with us, but also trying to respond what's going in the world. The same way like we responded when we accepted Christianity as one of the First Nation, the same way like we did when we developed our own alphabet, when we did one of the first publishing in the books, when we respond what was going in the world, when we travel around the globe and being first nation who opened the trading route between China to France. The nation who really, we're not scared to do something differently, not scared to be out of the box thinking, not scared to be out of the comfort zone. And this is something which we've been doing in thousands of years. And today is the question is, what we are doing today is helping us to really feel what we're continuing the same way, or we changing and something happening with us and we are becoming different. Because we are living now in much more comfort conditions in countries like US or Canada or France or Australia or Russia. It's not anymore so much dangerous for us about scare about our lives, but it's more question what we're doing in this society is how we adapt ourselves. Are we assimilating, or we are staying like we've been staying in thousands of years, our identity, keeping our identity, and at the same time being good citizens of the countries where we've been living. I think it's an Armenian story, and what's going with Armenia is becoming very critical for all of us. We felt, because of what's happened in the beginning of the 90s, it was earthquake, it was blockade, it was war, it was fear. It was fear what we saw how we can lose our homeland, and we helped. We helped a lot. We helped despite all the problems. We tried to support, and American University was a very good example, not only helping economically, but also investing in the future of Armenia. But today's Armenia, and I'm sorry to be blind, is mediocre. It's okay, it's average. It's nothing going so bad what you feel in fear, and not so bad, so good what you feel proud. And it's a question, what we need to do to make Armenia, again, the destiny, what we have been dreaming of hundreds of years, saying is our El Dorado, our country we are dreaming, the paradise when one day will be achieved because of our parents and grandparents left a heritage for us. And I think the question, what kind of Armenia we want to build is becoming more and more important. Because today, unfortunately, for most of us, Armenia looks like the place where you are obliged to help. It's more like tax payment, additional obligation, which I believe is wrong. Armenia for us is investment. Armenia needs to become investment for our future generation, because success of Armenia is our success. It's not a question we just need to help somebody who is in bad condition. We need to invest in the future of Armenia, because successful Armenia will help us to be successful here, and the vice versa. And this formula we need to accept, because otherwise we'll lose Armenia and we'll lose ourselves here. This is my strong belief. And I won't say education will be one of the key elements of success of Armenians. We've been successful in education thousands of years. We spent our second item of expense in Armenian family been always education. We believed in education, and we really invest in education a lot of efforts. We've been speaking 3 languages in a time when nobody can write and read. Most of the nations couldn't really speak 1 language normally, and we spoke many languages. Today, we're in danger because we lost our advantage. Armenians in Armenia before speak Russian and spoke Russian. Now they barely speak Russian, and they're learning English but not very good. They don't speak anymore Persian and Turkish and Arabic. And because part of going to Beirut, the Armenian taxi driver will speak 5 languages. It will be normal. Today in Armenia, most of our elite don't speak 2 languages. No, we're talking about 3 languages. That's why education is not only a question about is important of investment for the future, but important investment today. In the 21st century specifically, education become critical for success, not only socially, but also economically, because main assets is not anymore land. How much land do you have? Not about how much oil do you have or how much other commodities do you have. It's the main question, how many smart people living in your country? And Elon Musk grew up in South Africa, and he didn't went to the Czechia or Kenya or Russia or France. He went to the United States. And it's a question, what we need to do, what kind of a country we need to build, but despite being small, we can keep our own mask in our own country and attract other people from the region to come and study in our country and stay in our country. And I think it's one of the key challenges that we need to respond. Understanding with education will be one of the key drivers of the future of the world, and we have a competitive advantage. We are a smart nation. We're a nation who has a heritage of the smart, dedicated people who really want to invest in education. Armenian University, American University in Armenia, I think it was a great example of success. And I think this 25 years showed how important was type of the institution being established in Armenia, like French university, like Russian university, like German university. We have today unique competitive advantage. In Armenia today, we have 5 different universities with different standards. Today, the Chinese government opening Chinese school in Armenia. We have Dilijan United World College. We have IPE, we have TUMO. We have a real project which showing we can be regional hub for the education, definitely, despite all the problems with Turkey and Azerbaijan. That's why I'm a strong believer of education. I'm a strong believer education is a key driver of our success for the future. And also, I believe education needs to become in the next level. I think the American University in Armenia needs to become not only good for Armenians who live in Armenia, not only attract Armenians from other parts of the world come to study, but also non-Armenians come to study in Armenia. I think this is one of the next challenges I want to wish all of us to celebrate 50th anniversary of American University in Armenia. With that understanding, we will get non-Armenian kids to studying in our university in Armenia. This is why with my wife, we established United World College in Dilijan with many of our colleagues and friends. We got kids from 72 countries studying in Armenia. We get special scholarship system which attracting kids from all over the world to come to Armenia, study in Armenia. And also realizing importance of what's going today in the Middle East, where has been our homeland for many of our families. Unfortunately, the crisis came back the same places that we've been suffering after genocide. And today was going in Syria, unfortunately repeating the same stories. And we are facing the situation when We need to remember this. 100 years ago, many Arab families helped us, despite they've been not very rich, not being very successful. We've been quite poor people, but they helped our grandparents. This is why a year ago we established the special scholarship fund for 100 kids to study in Armenia and outside of Syria and Lebanon and Iraq, orphan kids to study in the United World College system. Today I want to make an announcement that we will also want to establish a special scholarship fund for kids from Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, non-Armenian, to study in Armenia in our American University in Armenia. Because I believe the only integration, only global, only being regional hub can help us, Armenia, to become successful. I want to say also with my wife, Veronica, we're spending a lot of time, and I think one of the reasons why I invited here, because she's a board member, not me. I'm benefiting being spouse of the board member. I want to pay tribute to the people, individuals who made a lot for Armenian world, like of course, Boaz, Nobar, Gulbekyan, Alex Manukyan and his family with Louis Simon and Richard Manukyan, and Kerker Korean. The one thing I want to say about this, what we are happening with our legacy, is not only a question what we need to remember and we need to respect and we need to pay tribute to these people. Also, we need to understand what our duties to be ready to support this type of activities, because they did a lot of projects to try to preserve Armenian nation. But this project needs to be supported by today's generation, because what we will leave to next generation is very critical for us. We are growing up in a non-war, non-crisis situation, whereas our kids feel less pressure to support Armenian heritage. Some of them doing very well, some of them questioning why they need to continue to stay on the Armenian route. And we'll stay on the Armenian route, like I said, only we'll be proud to be Armenian, and understanding it's very important to support Armenian heritage because what was done by generations. And I think it's important for us to collaborate, to come together. It's one of the most difficult parts for all of us, because we are survivors. And survivors, unfortunately, like we saw it as in the movie, which was great. It was done by Eric Ishan and his partners and Kirk's legacy. It's about how to survive. It's a different behavior. We need to go from survival to prosperity. This is a very difficult mental transformation for all of us, because survival mode means think small, family-oriented, very close mindset. Don't look big ideas, don't go big from your project, and try to build step by step like we're building our houses. One more room, one more room, one more room, adding to the houses. This is the typical Armenia in Armenians. This is why we need to change our mindset, and this is most difficult to change mindset. It's not a question about money. We made an analysis, what needs to be done to become Armenian, bring Armenia prosper. We need to invest the next 15 years, $8.5 billion. And this number will look like a crazy number, and people say it's unbelievable, we cannot do it. But I want to tell you, last 15 years in Armenia, different people in different institutions invest $5 billion. Okay, this is not a big difference. The only difference is not being coordinations. It was not collaborations. Because when you are in survival, you're trying to stay yourself, and this is the family only support you, and you don't trust anyone. We need to trust each other. Collaboration means compromise. We are individualistic. We are each of us believe that our ego is number one. We need to understand our elite today is responsible for bringing us collaborations, one of the key elements of success of future our nation. And I'm hoping with Vache Manukyan, Samuel Karpetyan from Russia, who is my friend, leaders of the AGBU, leaders of the National, leaders of other parties, leaders of Armenian government, we realize we cannot be successful without collaboration. We cannot be successful without coming together and trying to find a platform which will help us to make the new Armenia a new Armenian world. You know, we all know, we all remember this type of sentence when Kennedy said, the victory is 1,000 of parents, and the defeat is orphan. And we've been so many hundreds of years orphan. We are not ready to be thousands of parents. This is, I think, we need to learn what we are winner. We are winner in Artsakh war. And I want to remind you, it's a very important element. We are winner of the Artsakh war. We are winner in Armenian independence. And winner, and people who feel we're winner, what it means to be winner, what it means to be prosperity thinker. It means you are thinking big, you have big ambitions, but also you're trying to understand what is your competitive advantage, how you can execute these advantages, how you can bring us all in a global world, which is very, very competitive. Nobody waiting us and saying, oh, when is Armenia finally will become prosper? Nobody wants to look and say how we can help Armenia become prosper. It's our duty to make Armenia prosper. It's our duty to make Armenian diaspora successful in different parts of the world and help Syrian Armenians, help Armenians in Argentina and in America or Canada to feel it's a part of the big global network. I think most of you read it about our statement, our letter in the New York Times, which was written by me, Nobar Afeyan, my partner, which we did a lot of projects together, and many other my friends and partners, and I'm very thankful to Ed John, Charlie, many other people, Sam Simonyan, who is sitting here, about global Armenians. And I think it's a very important point, which I want to finish my speech today, saying global Armenian is not just a statement, it's a question to change our mentality, to change our behavior, to change how we behave and how we're doing all the businesses together. And I hope it's global Armenian will be bringing this type of the new type of the relationship, because we don't have so much time. The world is changing dramatically, and the world is changing very quickly. The only way we can become successful will we come together, we'll invest in education, we'll invest in our own future, understanding what is our key competitive advantages, bring Armenia as regional hub for education, healthcare, technology, finance, tourism, making Armenian diaspora feel this is the investment, is not obligation, bringing the new generation feel proud to be Armenian, not only feel obliged to be Armenian because the grandfather or father was Armenian, and feel what we're doing is really building our future. And I want to finish my speech with a sentence which was said by Peter Drucker. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Thank you.